question that I want to leave you with going into the weekend is, why is everybody so sensitive? You know what I mean? It just seems like there's a lot more feelings these days.
You know, feelings are not facts. Feelings are not facts. A lot of people felt at Turning Point USA, they felt that Mikey McCoy was kind of being positioned to take over for Charlie Kirk. I spiritually feel that something is wrong. We all feel that something is spiritually wrong, and yet these people are trying to tell you that there's nothing to see here. We don't have any facts on that. We only have just a sense of Charlie's emotion at the time. I feel a lot is adding up. I think the state of Israel is probably involved. I think there was something about me and him together, okay, that was, I don't know, like just meant to happen. Why does it feel to me like a hostile takeover of a company? That's how I personally feel. Okay. That's how I feel. I feel like this was a hostile takeover of a company. And I feel that the company became bigger than Charlie because Charlie was too ambitious. And this to me feels like a Christ mission. I have to say, any woman that can get on stage and meaningfully say that they forgive the person who their husband that quickly, you are truly a better person than me, because I've just been so angry and so angry. What sort of widow wouldn't want people to investigate the assassination of their husband? She has not explicitly said that, but the influencers are invoking that. His quote-unquote closest friends, his closest political allies, the White House, they all seemed kind of ready to move on so much faster than I was. I want to say that what's been bothering me in particular are the micro lies. It seems that they're suddenly in the business of telling micro lies, tiny little misrepresentations, tiny little half-truths that right out of the gate.
By now, we already know and understand how Candace Owens rolls. She says it, drops it, little crumbs here and there to lure her followers and viewers towards a certain conclusion, but you dare not say that conclusion out loud and let it bite her in the ass, because if you do, she's going to come and walk it back and ask, when did I say that? When? I just gently suggested that Charlie Kirk was maybe thinking about going towards Catholicism. But you see, in this same video we're about to react to, she's going to contradict herself so many times, it's unbelievable. She talks about she hates little lies, but unfortunately, she's the queen of big lies. Well, it makes sense. She hates little ones, so she prefers the bigger ones. In today's video, I want us to react to these two widows, because at this point, Candace Owens is no longer a friend. She is a full-blown widow. So I want us to see between widow 1 and widow 2 how it's working between them, because both of them, they're giving me so much to think about. And you know, before any much ado, Candace Owens feels that people are not grieving right. She feels like people are not grieving right. Why Erika Kirk is there giving people emotional blackmail on how people act. I don't know how she puts those words together for a man who said empathy was a new age term, which he doesn't believe in, but we have been empathizing with her and her family for the tragedy that happened to them. But she will come back online and want to gaslight us, to tell us that those of us who actually saw by mistake or whatever means it happened, that we watched her husband's video of him having what happened to him happen to him. We are sicko people watching that. You know these two widows? They give me life. Let's get into it. Just for context, this is Candace Owens reacting to Erika Kirk's interview. Erika Kirk did an interview with Fox News, and Candace Owens, probably, like I said in the previous video where she reacted to a clip of this particular interview, she thought that I think she was imagining that maybe Erika Kirk will address her, or they will ask her questions regarding Candace Owens' investigation. But unfortunately, like I said in that video, I believe Erika Kirk would have told them, please don't talk to me about that woman, because if anyone interviewed Erika Kirk, they would definitely ask her. If she doesn't have a say in the interview, they would definitely ask her, hey, what do you think about what Candace Owens is doing? Because Candace Owens is definitely widow number 1 right now. Erika Kirk, she can't even widow this thing. She is not widowing it according to Candace Owens right now. Candace Owens thinks she's widow number 1. Erika Kirk can be widow number 50. She doesn't care. She's widow number 1. Okay. What sort of widow forgives? What sort of widow? So she is reacting to this interview. So I just wanted to give that context so we know where we're from and where we're going to before we head into it. So Candace Owens from the beginning, she'll be confused, perplexed. Why? The questions were not more of investigation, but she says in hindsight, she should have known. But Candace, do you think this woman is supposed to go and sit on Fox News and be talking about you? Or what kind of investigation you are doing? The one she's doing, she trusts. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Very anticipated interview. I think we didn't really know what we were going to get. I don't know why I thought it was going to be like more about the investigation. And obviously in retrospect, that's not what it was about because it's Fox News and Fox News is not going to do this like heavy investigation. It was kind of more giving her a platform to speak about how things have changed for her, how things have changed for Turning Point USA, but it's like being at the helm of the organization. What are her thoughts about what that organization is going to look like going forward? And I'm speaking about Jesse Waters, who hosted this discussion, also trailed her at the event that she did with JD Vance at the University of Mississippi. Now, people around the world obviously have been moved by Erika's commitment to her Christian faith, the strength, obviously, that it takes for her to look after her kids, to look after herself, plus to steward this massive company, all while she's grieving, right? And that's kind of one of the things that stood out the most to a lot of people. But I would say the Christian message is what has resonated the most when she got up on stage and she said that I forgive him pretty instantly. I mean, when was the memorial event? It was only 10, 11 days after he was assassinated. I think it was even less maybe. It was like the 19th, 9 days after he was assassinated. Oh, sorry, the 21st.
Anyone who has been listening and paying attention to Candace Owens, whenever the topic of Erika Kirk comes up, you will know. Here, she's giving her a backhanded compliment, like, what sort of widow will forgive the person who did that to her husband 9 days later? That's what she's putting out there. She's really planting the seeds. And in this case, Candace Owens is not really caring how she sounds. But one thing she's very careful about is being very cautious, not as much as to put everything out there for someone to be able to hold her to that statement. You know, a statement like, your husband, you KILLEED, your husband. It's different from pointing people or giving people hints of how you see it, like saying everyone betrayed Charlie, and then a few days you drop it to 6 people. Then you come, when she was on a sabbatical, oh my God, she said she knew everything, the things she has learned. When she came, she had nada. This girl has mastered the art of talking crap. She's good at it. But she, with Erika Kirk, is extremely careful. If Erika Kirk was a different person, she would have been very, very harsh on her because she sees Candace Owens attacks people for the most minuscule things, the most minute things. She put out the picture of one guy, a student, because he was in a green hoodie on the campus the day the thing happened to Charlie happened. That child had to come out. Her mom came out on Twitter to come and say, hey, I'm just here. We went to look for food. Then Candace Owens now to come and say on her show, like, nothing happened. So he came and proved this point. But before putting out that information, if she says she has a team like she claims to, she would have done investigation. Knowing that someone just wearing a hoodie on a sunny day doesn't imply they are up to no good. But you know what? She didn't care dropping that like it's hot on her Twitter page. But now when it comes to Erika, it doesn't matter what she sees. She pretends. She downplays it. I have made a full video explaining the psychology behind this. She downplays it. She acts as if she doesn't know what you guys are talking about. What are you guys seeing? She does all of that to ensure that she is able to either drift you towards the right conclusion without concluding it by herself or with her mouth, but also to have that possibility of deniability in future or have self-preservation in case things don't go the way she wants to. Now, that's not the only person she's been avoiding. Meghan Kelly is another person she's been avoiding talking about carefully, very straight out or outright. Like we can add these two to the list of Andrew Tate. Yay. We can add these two people to it. I'm not saying these two people have done something that required us to say, hey, bing, bang, bang, they did something, but this is it. They have certain behaviors. There's some things about them which Candace Owens would have gone with guns blazing on them, but she did not. The day she was analyzing military personnel or people related to military around Charlie Kirk, she brought up everyone except Erika. But Erika's mom works with the military, has worked with the military, has had military links for a long time. I did a video on that, breaking all of that the day she was talking about military personnel, but ignored bringing up Erika. There is another thing she also brought up, which Erika is also part of, but she did not. She has a reason why she's doing that. So she will give a blanket statement that will cover Erika, but will not point Erika. She says TPUSA is acting shady. Definitely. She is running it, except you're trying to tell us that she's just a puppet head. Or you're trying to tell us that you can differentiate the actions of the CEO from the actions of the people who work under there. So you see how Candace works? Yeah.
Take a listen.
It's so easy to be in a position of feeling regret when you lose someone you love. And I tried to read a book by C.S. Lewis because he lost the love of his life. He was only married to her for 4 years. I think it's called A Grief Observed. And it was a very hard book to read. Not because it was about grief, but because in the opening pages he talked about how angry he was with God. And I've never felt that. I'm not angry with God. Never have been. Never have I questioned, why, Lord, are you putting me through this? Why are you testing me? Why are you? Because God is so good and he's so sovereign. And I know he uses everything, even what the enemy meant for evil. And I have no regrets.
Now, while Erika is talking, watch Candace. Watch her. It is always very easy to watch Candace Owens' reaction to people when they say something. With Erika, she does everything possible to make sure her face is as neutral as possible. But sometimes, because our body language will betray us, we will do certain actions that tell that I'm not interested in this. And Erika doesn't help it. Erika, I've watched previous videos of her to see if she has always had this whispery cadence when she's talking. But it's new. It started just after her husband's. It's completely very, very... I see why people tend to say she's acting. I see it. I see why, because she has the cadence of a method actor. A method actor uses emotions to stress certain words at certain angles or certain places. The dapping of the face, the tears, the deepening of the softening of the words, repetition of certain words to reiterate, those are things that method actors do. So I understand why many people look at her and watch her and think maybe she is acting. Also, I understand why people really tend to bond with her during this moment. There are so many people who have bonded with her more than they ever bonded with her. Because before, Erika did not have this talking cadence where she reiterates those words, softens her voice, lowers her pitch, takes it up sometimes, just completely switches in and out. Like I've said, those are complete, real. I had to send this to a well-known international actor who is not very versed with world events and all of this drama that happens in the world. I asked them, I sent several of her speeches to them. I said, please tell me what you think. And then the person just gave me their thought on how this person is acting. Then I sent him now a video of her before. And then he said, is that the same woman? I said, yes. Then she's completely acting. In the other one, she's acting. I said, that's after her husband was. Then he said, she's completely acting. Then he also made me understand something. These are two things. Either she's someone who is not very good at expressing emotions, so she would take a class or learn a way to express it in a way that sounds convincing to others, or she is just someone who did not care about what happened to the person that the thing happened to, and she is just acting it out to appear, to feel authentic to others. So what will happen to a situation like this is this. Either those who don't see the acting side of this, they will be so in tune to her, their hearts will be softened, melted, and they will really condole with her so much. Or so many people will also be on the other side who just feel turned off when she talks, because a lot of it is complete method acting, really to its core. But unfortunately, she's not doing it so eloquently, or like, let's say, seamlessly, in a way that it will just either turn someone completely off or turn someone completely on to her. So that is one thing, because I had a personal feeling when it came to her, the way she talked. That's why I had to go back, watch her videos behind to see if this is something she has always done, but she has not always done this. Then that's when I started looking at it. I understood this. And when Candace will listen to her, evidently the way she's talking now has that effect, the opposite effect on Candace. Probably because she knows the way she talks originally, or there is some information Candace knows that we don't know. Okay? So you see her scratching her back, doing turning, the way her face is kept, trying to avoid reacting. So she doesn't really portray her real emotions, which is why immediately after this lady speaks, Candace Owens will not address what she said immediately, straight on. You know, when someone is trying to derail you from any conversation, say you ask them, is the rain falling right now or not? They will not say the rain is falling, or they will not say the rain is not falling. They will start telling you, you know that geometry, geography, weather conditions can either change, or they will start saying that sometimes my eyes see things cloudy, sometimes my eyes, they start looking for a way to dance around before going towards that information, but still will not completely answer it, because they are trying to avoid pointing or giving you exactly how they feel about that thing or that individual. So they are going to dance around it. And that's exactly what Candace would do. She would dance around coming to the answer or responding to it. And when she finally comes to it, Candace is going to concentrate on talking about herself. That way, she doesn't somehow express completely what she feels about this person. And the only reason I can see here, it's not like she trusts the woman so much, but she sees that people don't trust her. So she doesn't want to express her trust for her. No, if that was the case, Candace would have made it clear. It is something otherwise. She doesn't want to relate the real feeling she has for this lady now, for self-preservation or other reasons. Listen to her response.
So when I saw this moment, I was just thinking about myself and a lot of emotions and grieving that I have experienced, and all of the emotions that I've shared with you guys, and the anger that I have felt. And I want to be very clear that I am not that example that she is giving. Like I could have never, and I know that so many people agree with this, I could have never forgiven Tyler Robinson for whatever part he played in this. And obviously I'm saying whatever part he played in this because I don't believe that he was the lone person involved. I don't even think he's the person that killed Charlie Kirk. But even if you believe all of those things, I never could have turned around and forgiven him that quickly, right? And I have not even processed. I definitely, when I prayed about this, asked a ton of questions to God. And yeah,
You see what she's doing? She said, I could have never. And so many people agree with this. She's not saying that for nothing. She's steering you towards a certain conclusion. But if you dare make that conclusion here, believe me, she'll be having your head on a stake the next day. See, this aspect of her going towards herself, rather than addressing the situation immediately, but shifting the focus towards her opinions, her experience, without addressing the original subject, Erika, without addressing Erika's first, is referred to as conversational self-focus or conversational narcissism. Now, this is not done just for play or for no reason. Conversational narcissism, this trait involves constantly steering conversation towards oneself. Okay, people exhibiting their behavior, or this behavior may interrupt, jump into conversations, cut into when you're talking, even when the thing is not related to them. They will cut into it, sometimes even bringing unrelated subjects onto it just to make sure that the conversation stays on them. And the underlying reasons for this are not things that you would find very surprising. This is seeking validation and self-confirmation. When she is telling her public, this is not me, she's describing the person who will forgive, who did that to Charlie. She is steering their emotions towards finding a hero and a villain. Who is the hero here? Candace Owens. Who is the villain? Erika. Because how could you forgive the man who did that to your husband? She is saying that I am the friend, but I couldn't forgive this man. You are the wife. How could you? If something like that happened to my husband, I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't be that one. And she says again, so many people agree or find it or see it that way. She is seeking validation and self-confirmation, especially given that this is a context of social media justice. Here she is trying to seek the context of social media validation onto herself. It doesn't matter what the courts say. It doesn't matter what the reality say. She is going to ensure that she comes on top. It doesn't matter. So whoever Charlie Kirk's widow might be, that is their business. Because in this context, she has made herself the prime widow. Any other widow, you are just boiling corn and beans. The next reason for this could be insecurity or low self-esteem. Yes, overcompensating by highlighting achievements, like saying that, oh, I have been grieving so hard. How is it that people are not grieving like I am? She's not seeing people grieving. She's trying to make sure that she overcompensates, steering the stories towards desperately seeking affirmation and proving her worth to Charlie Kirk's followers, to her followers, to the social media netizens and family members. Hey, look at me. I have been crying this man and seeking justice for the long time, but this woman sits there and says she forgives this man. How dare she? The next reason is social anxiety. She's trying to control the conversation by keeping it on familiar territory. Like I said before, remember what I said before. She wants to control this conversation because she is at this moment not willing to say what she truly thinks about Erika Kirk. So she will rather bring it to a territory, which is herself. So she can say, this is just me. This is how I'm just feeling. Because if she dares put it on Erika Kirk to tell the truth about how she feels about Erika Kirk, she might betray herself. Candace Owens speaks a lot. While she talks, she sometimes forgets. That's why she has someone whispering in her ears always. The person has to tell her sometimes, shut up, you're going too far. And that is one thing that is very interesting. And the next reason could be ego-driven. Simply, Candace Owens' ego. Of course, who doesn't know how her ego works? Candace Owens' ego is one that needs constant pampering. It needs constant nurturing, watering, nurturing so that it grows. And she can't get enough. It doesn't matter if she gets to the biggest person in the world, she will still want her ego fed. And she will still always play victim. And she will still pander her emotions to the people on the internet. Look at me. Look at me, people. I've been crying. I don't know how she forgave that man. She's not saying anything. She's not saying that, no, she shouldn't. But she's saying that it couldn't be me. I'm just a friend. But I've been crying this man, mourning. She a few minutes she's going to talk about how some people were taking time to continue, but she needed time off. She needed time off. You see?
She is absolutely right in what she is saying, and she is delivering to us what the biblical teaching is on these matters. But I could not feel that way. And so I was questioning myself, listening to this, like, what is wrong with me? Like, well, actually, what is wrong with me? Why am I not able to get to forgiveness? Why am I not able to, or why am I rather questioning and asking why, and why doing this to somebody so young? I mean, even my dad, by the way, was so impacted. He met Charlie a couple of times, but he was so impacted by Charlie's assassination that it made him go, I want to be, I remember my dad said this, like, I want to be a better grandfather and a better father, because I look at myself and I'm older and I haven't lived a life anywhere near as admirable as Charlie has lived his life. My dad literally said this to me on the phone. And it makes me feel like, why him? Why did this happen to Charlie Kirk?
Oh, Candace. Candace is so good at this thing. She's good at emotional manipulation. Do you see what she did there? Do you see what she did there? One, she established that she's just the friend. She's just the friend. But she wants all this hail and brimstone to find out, to dig, to get to one monicum of truth. How come Erika forgives him? Now she has brought in her dad, and she specifies how many times her dad met Charlie Kirk and how much he was impacted by this, and how she and him can't forgive. They have been thinking about it. How come? What's wrong with me? All of this she's doing here, she's not doing this out. She knows exactly what game she's playing. She knows where she's driving her audience. She's telling them, look at this. Even my dad, who met this guy just a couple of times, couldn't believe it. Like, she's driving the point home, because some people will say, but well, maybe you liked or loved Charlie. Like, people have been insinuating that they probably had a romantic relationship. So she's like, even my dad who met Charlie a few times can't forgive this man. And he's asking, why would this happen to this man? And then she will now turn and ask, like, so are you guys telling me that this woman just wants to tell us that she just forgive the man like that? So she is doing what we call emotional playing. She's emotionally doing dodgeball, emotional chessboard. She has an emotional chessboard, and she's playing her audience like it's no tomorrow. She knows the game. She's perfected it over time, and she's walking it through. At this point where we are seated, Erika Kirk could tell herself and everyone else that she married this man. That's her business. At this point, widow number 1 is Candace Owens. Erika Kirk can follow as number 50. She doesn't care. She has wept, built, perfected the art of gaining the sympathy of her. She started very little. She first started with her little tribute to Charlie. Then she started dropping the brims little by little. Building. She got to the part of attacking everyone and attacking to the president. Now she has come back. Now she's now at the emotional level. She's now digging in again. Guys, you see what I've been doing? I've been through hell. How can this woman just stand up 9 days later and say she forgives this guy? How is it working?
And I don't know. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was going, wow, what is wrong with me that I have felt all of those things, that she has had the wisdom to just not go through that. You know what I mean? Or not, I guess I shouldn't say not go through that, but not fixate on that. I couldn't today, after everything that's happened, be like, I forgive Tyler Robbins. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I think maybe if I'm assessing myself and being hypercritical of myself right now, it's because I cannot forgive until I know what happened.
When we are looking at what Candace is saying here versus what she thinks happened with Erika, we can look at it in tendencies for forgiveness, maybe in conditional ways. For example, let's say some people seek closure when there is the condition of knowing exactly what happened. While some people will seek closure, maybe not from facts, but just because they want to release themselves from the pain of what has happened to them, the injustice that has happened to them. So Candace Owens is coming from someone whose forgiveness is conditional, which means it is based on someone taking accountability or someone taking the punishment from what has happened in itself, it's not a bad sentiment to have, because definitely if she seeks the truth and finds the truth, it will give her some control over the situation, over knowing that the person who did this act has found justice, the person whose this act was perpetrated upon has been served justice. But then, when it comes to Candace Owens' situation, given that she says she's seeking truth, but unfortunately, all she's been doing is leaving a trail of problems on her way, which lets us see that maybe that is not still the case for her, because if she's seeking truth, she would have to do it the right way. And if she wants to look at it from this angle of she needs closure, or let's say she needs proof or facts of someone taking accountability of that action, we can definitely say that Erika has found that closure, because she said in this interview she has seen the facts, she has seen the autopsy, she has spoken with the authorities, and she trusts the team, which means she has not only gained information that has kept her at peace to know that she has control over this situation, she has closure over this situation, and she can emotionally and mentally give out that forgiveness to finally release herself from the pain and bitterness that she could have been carrying along for a long time. On the flip side, Candace Owens has not had that because, one, she's not been in communication with these authorities. One, she doesn't trust them, even though she still claims at points they leak information to her. Girl, make it make sense. And two, she has not seen the autopsy, which she has confirmed she has not seen it, and she doesn't know what is going on in the investigation, because all she has gotten is information that has left her more confused. And because of how much she has been leaving a trail of damage on her way in the name of investigating, she will become more bitter. So it makes sense that at this point, we have two individual widows. At this point, Candace Owens is Charlie's widows, whether you guys like it or not. So when I'm calling the two of them the two widows, just understand, you want to protest it in Candace Owens' comment section, not mine. She is a widow. So you see in a situation where you have two widows, one who has the need for cognitive closure and meaning, that is Candace Owens. That means she needs the human mind. Her mind needs to seek a sense of justice so that she can know the facts. Knowing those facts will provide for her essential pieces for her to construct a coherent narrative that will help her understand what happened, so she can build a confidence in her safety, control of the narrative, to be sure that she can forgive or not. It is in itself not a bad thing for her to want. It is not. It is just the manner of her seeking for justice that is a little problematic. Now, for her to seek the aspect of safety, they asked even Erika Kirk in this interview, does she feel safe? She said yes. And it is not a strange thing for her to say, because she has seen the evidence, seen the autopsy, which has given her a sense of justice and someone taking accountability for the injustice that was done to her, her family, her husband, and her entire life. But Candace, on the other side of this equation, is one who is still struggling, not only with the psychological, but with the social aspect of not understanding what happened. She keeps saying that she needs to fit things into her timeline. Sometimes that is not just because she is having this incoherent investigation of hers that is going on. It is because her mind is not yet settled. She has not found closure on the events that happened on the day that it happened. She probably doesn't have an iota of what is going on behind the scenes of Turning Point USA, which those people there could have had that be privy to that information, which could have settled their mind faster than it would settle Candace Owens' mind. And this is one of the reasons which I have known for a while that Candace Owens was not as close to Charlie Kirk as she would like us to know. If she was, she would have been privy to some of the information. She would have been invited to be at the memorial. She would have been part of the ongoing tours that are going around. She is not as close. She has not been. Even she herself has come online one of the days she was talking on her podcast. She cried out loud that she thought that after Charlie Kirk's what happened to him? They are going to form a group chat, become buddies. They are going to be exchanging texts on how to go further. But she sees that she has been left out. She's angry about it. One, she doesn't know what's going on behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, at any angle. She has not gained closure. She has been isolated. Look, being top of the world podcast, it's a very good thing for her. But the truth is this: Candace Owens is an island currently. She has very few friends in the industry, and even the friends she has, I have to bet on everyone that is temporal, or those are conditional friendships, because Candace doesn't know how to keep a friendship for long. It's just a matter of time. She burns the bridge down. Everything, she takes it down. And she has said it herself. She doesn't mind as long as she gets to one monicum of truth. And that monicum of truth does not depend on what the truth is. It depends on what her truth is. And that is the problem with so many people. They want their truth, not the truth. When you present the truth to them, it doesn't sound like the truth. Now, I'm not saying that what has happened with the investigation is pure fact or everything. I don't know. Same as Candace Owens is as confused with what has happened. Every one of us who is not part of the internal investigation, who is not privy to the information that we don't have, you might not know certain things. There are things that Erika Kirk knew before her husband ended, and after that, she knows why she is acting the way she's acting. And people on the outside might not be able to take stock of that data and make sense of it because they are not her. They don't have the information she has. They don't know what she's going through, and they can never assess it. So that is one thing that is going on with these two widows. Look at Candace here. The reason I'm calling them two widows, Candace has not paid attention to including any other person in this grieving process. At this point, she's listening to Erika Kirk, then she inflects on herself. She listens to Erika Kirk, she inflects on what she thinks herself is feeling. At this point, she's putting herself as the second widow or the first widow. Erika Kirk can be the 50th. That's anybody's business.
I don't know what I'm forgiving, actually, until I know what happened. And this might move into what we're going to get into later, where she answers the question, we're going to get to it right now, actually, of whether or not she believes that they have caught the true killer of Charlie Kirk, right? Do you believe that? The person that we have in custody, is that the person that pulled the trigger? Is that the only person that pulled the trigger? Anyways, I want you to hear it directly from her and not me recapping what she said, or reiterating it rather. It's gone viral because of what she didn't say, to be honest with you. Take a listen.
Do you think they've caught your husband's killer?
So, something I'm so grateful for is that we have one of the most incredible teams for this case. I would never wish it upon anybody to have to go through what we are going through. To have seen the autopsy report, to have seen the different evidence portions that have been collected. I trust our team.
Now, this is another thing. You remember when I said Candace Owens turned around. When something happened, she did not address that thing head on. She had to spin around the question. Same thing Erika Kirk has done here. Widow 2 has done here. Or Widow 1, whichever one she is. Widow number 2 has done the same thing. Do you think your husband's killer has been arrested? It could have been a yes or a no. She had to go through this because, one, she is trying to self-preserve. One, she knows the tension out there. The investigation is divided. 2, there is something she knows that she doesn't want the world to know right now, or something she doesn't know and she does not want to put herself in a situation where she has to backtrack in future. So all she would tell herself is, I trust my team, I trust the team, so that in case something happens in future and something comes out that has to discredit her, she will say, I trusted some people, I trusted the wrong people. Same as my husband trusted the wrong people. She is doing exactly what Candace Owens has been doing when it comes to her, Candace Owens. When it comes to Erika, Candace Owens does self-preservation, avoiding addressing things head on. she goes around it. Erika also went around it. But this is the essence here. If you listened to her and you were to take her word for it, especially the word of those who work with her, those who are friends with her, they have made it as clear as possible that they believe, all of them from that team, they believe that whoever Tyler Robinson did the deed, and they believe he acted alone. Megyn Kelly said it on her tour, the tour that Erika Kirk is part of. Okay? Megyn Kelly, when she was saying that she believes Tyler Robinson did it, she also mentioned she has spoken with the with the authorities. She has spoken with Erika Kirk. She has spoken with TPUSA, and she has the insider information that tells her that Tyler Robinson, she says she is 100% sure that Tyler Robinson did. Do you think Megyn Kelly, or is Kelly, Megyn Kelly will come and dare say something like that Erika Kirk has not given her a go-ahead? Erika Kirk has given her a go-ahead. It's the same damn thing Trump Jr. said, that Tyler Robinson did it. Erika Kirk doesn't have to say it completely, but she has drawn the line towards it, same like Candace does. She draws a line towards a certain narrative and lets you make your conclusion. Whatever conclusion you make is your business. Candace Owens is going to make her own conclusion. Those on the internet are making conclusions that she confirmed, that she believes it. Saying she trusts her team could mean that I trust them. So if they fail me in future, I can come back and say, I did not know they were lying to me. Or saying I trust them so that in case in tomorrow they prove that what I said, they did well, I can come and say, I told you I trust my team, which means I accepted with them. That is the same thing. Now let's hear how Candace Owens reacts to this. It's very interesting.
So it's not a straight yes or no. And the implication could be that she trusts the team to find more or to get answers, or if this is not it, to tell her what the true answers are. And I think that's why this is going viral, because they're going, okay, does she actually believe that Tyler Robinson acted alone? And obviously Jesse is not going to push her on that, because it would have probably felt more like an interrogation rather than just sitting down and speaking through some of these topics that are probably hard to talk about in general. But I am hopeful that what she's implying is that she trusts her team to do the due diligence. She says that she has seen the autopsy report. She has seen certain things. Obviously, none of us have seen the autopsy report. And I don't know. I didn't know what to make of that. Is she saying that there's more that's going to come out? Is that kind of a foreshadowing that more is going to come out and things are going to be clear? I hope so. I really do. Because in terms of what the public has seen so far, I would say nothing has been convincing. And I'm trying to imagine what they would have that the public hasn't seen that could be sort of a smoking gun.
You have not seen it because you are not part of the inner circle, Candace. And this is the funny thing. She has created this illusion online that investigations have to go the way she has been claiming they do go. Investigations are not like investigators put out every information that is online, that is available, because it could destroy the case. You know, there is a reason why people make sure they say as little as possible. There's a reason why certain witnesses or most witnesses are under gag orders not to say a lot. And I'm sure one of the reasons why Erika Kirk is very careful on what she says here is because there is still a hot ongoing investigation on her husband's case. She cannot just be saying too much out here in these streets. It's the same thing with the entire investigation. The investigating team, the FBI, or whoever the investigators are, they cannot put out everything out here. Candace Owens has sent out these smokescreen signals to her fandom that they believe that they should have seen everything. And she still keeps pushing that narrative here. Like they should have seen everything. What they have seen is not compelling. Sometimes investigators send out even fake signals just to see what they catch in the net. Meanwhile, the real case is going behind. I am not an investigator. I'm not privy. But the little investigation I have done with how investigations work, plus so many crime and investigation series I've been watching all my life, the first 48 hours real life series investigations, how dictators tell you how they are trying to smoke out people and how they're trying to send out some signals. You know for a fact, Candace, you are part of a whole administration with the Conservative Party who are running the kingdom now. You're supposed to know how investigations work. But she's all of a sudden acting as if she was part of the other party and this party was, she would have been telling, if she was part of the administration of Trump, she would have been telling people now, do you expect us to put everything out here? But now that she's not inside, she's angry. So she has to just mess everything up. So Candace, are you not? And you know what? The next minute, when another investigation will happen, when people cannot put things out there and it is something that she finds favor with that investigation and she starts saying that we can't put everything out here, none of her fans will ask her, but ma'am, in the last case, you said this. Well, who am I knocking my head on?
And in theory, it would be the footage, right? Tyler Boyer said, we have footage in 4K, all of the stuff when he was tweeting. And similarly, not the university, but somebody else was saying that, at every angle, every area of the university is covered. Their excuse for not showing the public was they didn't want it to in any way impact the case. That has never made sense to me. That excuse has never made sense to me.
It will not make sense to you, Candace Owens, because at this moment, all you want to do is stir the pot. You just want to mix things up. That's all you care. She doesn't care. In the last one of my last episodes, I was analyzing her when she said, she told Erika, when she was reacting to the first clips that came out from this interview, she told Erika that the best thing she can do as CEO so that she can keep her name clean is that let Erika release all the information and footages that are involved, that are concerning this case. And she says, let her be transparent, but not towards the feds. So which means let them bring all the information to Candace Owens. Candace Owens will continue the investigation. But this is what I'm asking. If Candace Owens is giving all of this information, is she sure she's going to bring justice to Charlie Kirk? Or she's just going to turn it into another telenovela show? That's the question. Candace, you are a podcaster. You are not an investigative journalist. You are not an investigator. You are not part of the Fed. You are not part of the Fed organization. So what the hell are you talking about? And the funny thing is this, her fans, they will eat the shit up. They will eat it up. It's breakfast, lunch, dinner. It is perfect. Pour it down with some champagne and they call it a day because Candace said it. And the next day, she will say the opposite and they will still pour it down with some champagne and say, let's ching ching, let's go. The queen said it. Well, she's top podcaster of the world for not for any reason. She knows how she's doing it, okay?
In fact, I would imagine that when there was a manhunt going on, before you even thinking about the case, but rather thinking about keeping people safe, that would have been a good time to drop some clear footage of the individual. But it's possible. It's possible they have actual clear footage of Tyler Robinson jumping down onto the rooftop and firing the shot. That's all possible. And so we're just going to have to wait and see on that. Now, I'm going to say personally and maybe even selfishly, probably selfishly, again, I'm fallen. I am very fallen, obviously. I was extremely excited that she responded to the Catholic innuendo once and for all in her own way. Obviously, it was not a direct question or anything. But two things happened here. One, you probably didn't catch, which is behind Jesse and Erika as they're walking backstage at the University of Mississippi event that they headlined. There was a priest. Look in the corner there. I know a priest scholar when I see one. Yep, that is the same priest that she took with her to the hospital when Charlie was shot. And I don't know. I am maintaining that I think this may have been about more than the architecture.
It's a good thing that you accept and you're willing to tell your audience that you are fallen. And the unfortunate thing is that will roll over their head as fast as you said it. You are truly fallen from the grace of yourself, the God you worship, your family, your everything, okay? I don't know how your husband is sitting by while you do all of this, which makes me think maybe some of the alleged allegations out there might be true. Because I don't know how another man sits and another woman is going on rampage online for another woman's husband. That's a conversation for another day. Let's let it go. But this is the thing here. Candace Owens, please, baby girl, please. Erika Kirk has been a Catholic, okay? Secondly, a priest being there is not an aha moment. It's not. And even if it's an aha moment, I thought you just said you refused, you backpedaled and said, You did not say anything like, you did not say he was converting. You just gently mentioned that he was going to. You said, you could say for a fact, we have said this too many times, you can go back and watch the videos. You said you could say for a fact he was going to Mars. I can say for a fact he was going through a spiritual transformation. I don't know why you are coding your opinions on another man's husband this much. Especially a man you've not been close with for a while. Because if you were close friends and close family, Tucker Carlson is close family and close friends. I'm sure there are a lot of information he's privy to that you have no iota about because you're not part of the inner circle. And I think Tucker Carlson will not tell you because he knows that you bring it on your podcast because you don't know the difference between private information and public information. Even when Trump called you and said, "Hey, let's discuss this. Please, can you stop talking?" You brought the thing to the group chat. We were enjoying the feast out here. Not that we're blaming you. We like drama like you, but not concerning us, please. Now, in the event that you, Candace Owens, you are seeing that, oh God, this girl, she's spinning my head. She's spinning my head. Candace, if a priest is somewhere, it doesn't mean that everyone around that area is Catholic, okay? We could also take that by that assumption that the journalist who was there interviewing is also Catholic because there is a priest collar there, or that everyone in that area was a priest. Now, that priest could be there for one reason or the other. Erika Kirk has made it clear over time that sometimes they call priests to come and pray for them or call people to come and pray for them. Another thing she's going to use as a aha moment here is that Erika Kirk made a cross for Charlie Kirk and he endowed it with St. Michael and said St. Michael was his armor. But this is the funny thing that Candace Owens did. Candace Owens left out the part where Erika Kirk also mentioned something that has to do with the Sabbath and has to do with Judeo-Christian values, which means that it could mean anything. It could just be that Charlie Kirk was a very confused human being when it came to his religion. One, he did not like organized religion of going to a church to pray. That's one thing about him, but he said he's a devout Christian. Two, he was dancing between Presbyterian church or being Protestant or being a Catholic. It is just a normal thing that he could have been. I don't know why you're in the internet swearing on another person's religion, Candace. If you say that you did not say that, then you find something that shows like maybe that could have been true. Why do you now suddenly turn around and now let it be like you were right? What were you right about? Were you right that you said he was converting or that he was becoming more Catholic? Or you were right that, oh, you did not say it? Candace, it's not like anybody wants to dunk. She will say people want to dunk. Nobody wants to dunk on you, Candace. You lie too much. She says she doesn't like little lies. It's the same thing when she was showing the image of Tyler Robinson. She said Tyler Robinson doesn't say vehicle. But then she takes an image, a video of Tyler Robinson saying car in an accident. She intentionally cuts just before the part where he says vehicle, because in the same tape where she showed it on her channel, the guy said vehicle, but she cut it and showed just the part where he says car. Those are those little lies you say you hate. Oh, anyway, you do gigantic lies. So who am I talking to? Candid baby.
And in case you are not there yet, in addition to that, the priest being caught behind the scenes there, they traveled with Erika and she discusses Charlie's affinity for Saint Michael. Take a listen.
When we first started dating, I asked him, I was like, why don't you wear a cross? I was like, why? You say you're a Christian, but you don't wear a cross. He's like, I don't know. I'm not a jewelry guy. And I was like, I understand. So for his first birthday present, I got him this cross. And then throughout time, I would always add different medals to it. And so he loved St. Michael. And so, every time he'd put this on, he just felt like it was his armor.
Here are a few things Candace Owens deliberately also ignores in this footage. Erika Kirk said when she started dating Charlie, he never wore a cross. So she said, you're a Christian, but you don't wear it. She said, no. The reason Erika Kirk is more engaged in that him wearing a cross and she's the one who endowed it with St. Michael. Even though he said it feels like his armor, she endowed it because she is a creator Catholic. Okay? Then when she met Charlie and they got married, they rarely went to church together. But definitely, she still has the roots of being a Catholic with her, right? So there are certain things about Catholicism that it's Catholicism, that she's going to really hang on to, even if she's not an attending Catholic as before. Now, have you ever seen a husband who wears a genuinely simple necklace? It could be just a love heart. It could be just anything that the wife gave them, and they feel like if they don't have it on, they don't feel happy or protected. It is just normal that a husband will find what their wife gave them as their armor. It is okay. And the fact that she adorned it with Saint Michael. Saint Michael is not only something that Catholics know. Yes, it's saints and saints like that. It's more Catholic, but it's normal that his wife would have adorned it with Saint Michael, which he felt was a protective armor for him. But it doesn't mean that he was becoming Catholic or trans. You made it sound like he was going to become a Catholic the next time. You told him he's too dumb, he's too smart to be Catholic, to be Protestant. Let him take the last step, which means you have seen him go through other steps. Candace, ugh, Lord. Anyway, hear what she's about to tell you, okay? Because Candy Baby, she lives in Candyland.
Are we done here, guys? He felt like St. Michael was his armor, okay? Now, I wanted to point that out because in retrospect, I get more and more just amazed and upset at how vicious and cruel and unnecessary people are. Just all of the videos people made when I wasn't even mentioning it as a big deal. I was doing a tribute video to Charlie and being like, we were all hoping that he was going to take the step and become Catholic, gave no details. And the next thing I knew, Operation Christian Zionist Influencer was, while I was in a state of trauma and grieving, coming after me and saying that it wasn't true. And I don't think any of them have made videos since clarifying that no, Candace seems to have been telling the truth, because who cares about the truth when you can just like dunk on Candace?
Candace, of all the lies you have told, how many have you retracted? So you want them to make a video to apologize for when you lied and then you came out and you backtracked? Candace, sometimes I feel like the girl is not there. Sometimes I'm knocking that coconut head. Are you there? Anyone in there? So in her la la land, the candy land where she lives, people need to come apologize. Meanwhile, she has not proven anything, okay? Same way she defended, she was defending Tate by bringing a little child. I spoke about that in the last video. Candace, is anybody in there? Wow, Lord. I don't know how her husband handles her, the people who work with her. How does she do it? How do they do it? She sounds like that kind of human being who lies for a living. I think in her private life, she does the same. Because it's the way she lies naturally. Definitely she does that even in her private life. It cannot just be that it's something she does only when she's on camera. She looks like the kind of person who would do it in private. Because it's not like after doing that, no. She always has to look for a way to insert herself in there. Why showing this video? She made sure to avoid showing the part where the wife spoke about him observing the Sabbath. Is the Sabbath also part of Catholicism, madam? Candace, let me show that clip.
Open the junk drawer. Everyone has a junk drawer. Open the junk drawer, said Shabbat Shalom, put it in there, turned the phone off, slammed the door, and he felt so free because he was unreachable for 24, 48 hours.
So, Mrs. Catholicism, is Shabbat Shalom also part of Catholicism? Is it also a Catholic culture? Huh? Candace knows how to pick and choose what works for her. When it doesn't work for her, she pretends as if it doesn't exist. We're still waiting for you to address Kanye, sir. Where's ma'am?
And here is her answer.
There's other theories swirling around about Charlie's assassination.
Right.
How does that make you feel?
When everything happened, my phone died and became a black hole. I just didn't turn it on for weeks on end. I've intentionally insulated myself because I need to guard my heart, and I need to be there for my kids, and I need to be there for Turning Point. And what I've realized through all of this is that everyone grieves differently. Everyone is trying to figure out, and I don't blame them, how does this happen? how does somebody become so radicalized where they can justify this in their own head? We just lost one of the greatest voices of our generation. Why? How? What's behind it? Like, everyone's trying to process this. And I respect that. But where my heart is just asking for some grace is for the ones who were there that day. They have to relive that every single day. He didn't die in a car accident. He didn't die from cancer. He was assassinated. And the difference between this and previous assassinations in this country is there was no social media. There was no AI. I can tell you how many fake images are out there of all of this. And again, my only request is that just please pray and consider and think about whatever you put online, because it's going to impact his kids in the future. I don't want my kids to go on the internet one day when they're older and see things that it's just, we're all trying to process this in their own way, and I appreciate that. But just some grace would be nice.
Well, Candace has heard her. She says some grace would be nice. You remember when Candace said not the only two people who can shut her up are Erika Kirk and her husband? Then she came back and changed her mind and said nobody can shut her up. Now, Erika Kirk is asking for some grace. So will she take heed to that grace Erika Kirk is asking for? Of course, you know not. It's Candace Owens we're talking about. Okay? Candace is not, even if Erika Kirk were to come out and beg and say, please, Candace, stop, Candace is going to use that as a weapon to finally go after her the way she has always wanted to. So she's been baiting her, hoping she does. But then there are a few things that Widow 2 says here that are, first of all, inaccurate. Widow 2, how did you insulate yourself from online? The reason she said she has insulated herself from online is because she wants to avoid talking about the other conspiracy theories out there. And she knows the biggest person who has had theories out there is Candace Owens. I said in one of my previous videos talking about when she was addressing this interview, Erika Kirk must have gone in, allegedly, and told this guy, Jesse, and say, you know what, Jesse, don't ask me, I don't want to talk about Candace. So he would have looked for a creative way to ask the question, and she is also looking for a creative way to answer it without addressing Candace Owens, because she is the biggest conspiracy theorist out there spreading. She has like 700 conspiracy theories at this point. You counting them is a waste of time. She is the highest person perpetuating the highest conspiracies. So definitely this is addressing Candace Owens. So when she says she insulated herself from social media, that's a way from her to also self-preserve herself, to avoid confronting the Candace Owens of the subject, and also to avoid taking a position that might bite her in the ass tomorrow. So self-preservation. Insulating yourself, no ma'am, you've not been insulating yourself. If you insulated yourself, you would not know about how many conspiracy theories or whether the people who were there on that day have been attacked. How did you know that if you've insulated yourself, you will not know that information? Also, one more thing you will not know if you insulated yourself truly is that you will not know about the AI images that are out there, okay? One other thing she said during this interview that was very, let's say, pretentious is she was saying that why would you go watching the videos of her husband, this thing happening to her husband? She was trying to emotionally shame people who watched it. And it's not like people went looking for this. People were bombarded by these images. It's not by choice. I, for one, am one of those people who really does my best to avoid watching any triggering images. But I had no choice. I just bumped onto that image and it couldn't leave my head. Now she wants to emotionally shame us, like, why would you waste your life watching that? Please, if you really want us to dissect what she said in that interview, she did emotional shaming a couple of times, which was very disingenuous to begin with. Please, we are really empathetic to you, but please don't take it and talk to us as if we are now some idiots because you want to portray an emotional image of you don't want to watch this, be a sicko. Please, Erika, widow number 2, please, I'm begging you, let us concentrate on having this empathy and grace we are having for you, even though you and your husband don't deserve it. But we are giving it not because it is what you deserve, but because it is what we as human beings do. We are people who want to do it because we love to do it. But please don't emotionally shame us because something happened and we have no control over it. It was very disingenuous for her to do that. And also, the theories. Erika, don't worry, darling. You'll be fine, okay? You and your kids will be fine. Trust me. I understand the sentiment of her fearing her kids watching this someday. The truth is this, someday they will see it. It's not something I wish. It's something I wish that everything that happened to him, the images of it could just be wiped off the internet before the kids are grown up enough to watch them. But unfortunately, the internet is forever right now. So they might see it someday. Maybe they will intentionally try their best to stay away from it, but children are curious. They want to see what happened to Papa. Unfortunately, they might see it someday. And I understand the sentiment of her saying that she really wishes that these kind of theories are not being thrown out there. And the truth is this, if her children watch Candace Owens podcast in future, definitely they will see where Candace Owens is leading her crowd. And they will see how she is accusing the organization her father created, their father created, of being part of the people who hurt him. I understand that sentiment, and it is really sad. Like I've been saying, I don't like Charlie Kirk as a person. I've never liked him as a person. I didn't know much about him, but a little I've researched a lot about him after his passing. I've known a lot about him. Before, he was just like a byproduct of me researching Candice or the other people. But now I have learned a lot about him, more than I would like to. I don't like the guy personally, but still, what Candice is doing to this guy, it is what we call devilish. She is dismantling the little respect this guy's name still possesses out here to ensure that she turns him into a caricature. She is pretending, people don't stab you only in the face. Sometimes people are looking at you and smiling at you while they're the ones plotting your death. And you're thinking she will be saying that she's looking for justice, but she knows what she's doing. She knows, because exactly what she's doing, all those things she's doing, let's say 80% of them, she doesn't need to be doing them to investigate or find out what happened to her friend, but she does them intentionally. Some of those messages she's leaking has nothing to do with finding out the truth. It has to do with her humiliating him. And it is just the truth. Erika must have seen them. She knows what she's that insulation. She can tell that insulation story to another person, but she has seen them, because even during this interview, at some point, she will still say, that's why when people are asking how she is behaving the way she is behaving, I say, how do you know how people know how you're behaving online if you have internet insulated yourself? Only somebody who has really been consuming online information knows how you are behaving. There are people who have followed up this case and they still don't know whether something is wrong with you because they have been on the pity the widow case and that's all. But if you know it, you have not internet insulated yourself, lady. I really, I'm sorry that you have to go through this, but well, widow one has put you on Front Street. We have to dissect this.
So I think it's a gracious answer, and I think it's a gracious request to, assert first and foremost that people are doing this because they care and they care about Charlie. And also this was a traumatic event that the entire world experienced. And also the reason why the internet is investigating is because the feds aren't.
I'm sorry to cut again. I really try avoiding this, but sometimes some things are just too much. You can't let it go. Candace Owens says the reason she is investigating, because she's saying internet, she's talking to herself. The reason the internet is investigating this is because the feds are not, okay? Candace Owens is doing the feds' job. That's why she's asking. So when she was telling people to release information, not to the feds, but to her, what does she think they're releasing information to the feds to do? To cook soup? Pomo? Rice and stew? What did she think the information they're sending to the feds was for? For them to watch it as telenovela. This lady is too funny.
And not only are they not investigating, they're telling some pretty obvious lies, right?
Well, the long and the short of everything that she's going to say after this is that she's going to turn down Erika Kirk's request. If you want to see her turn it down, go to her channel. I'm done listening to this woman's voice for today. It's too much for my mental health, okay? It's too much, especially when she's lying. It's sometimes it irks me. It's too much. So the long and short of this is that she tells Erika Kirk, your request is a no. You, as a CEO, I'm asking you to release all the information you have, not to the Fed, but to me, because I don't trust the Fed, and I've told my people not to trust the Fed. You and Mikey McCoy, you people cannot choose that you want to be famous. And then when you become famous, you say you don't want to be famous. She gives the example of Meghan Markle, who wanted to marry a prince, be a princess. And then when she becomes a princess, she says she doesn't want. That was a very crazy example. And that was a really good on-point example, Candace. I have to give you that. Because you cannot be telling me you want privacy from a Netflix documentary. That is the most shadiest thing. Bam! You can't tell me you want privacy from an interview with Oprah. Girl, you have to pick one. That was a very good example she gave there. But then you can see that Candace Owens has never cared about Erika Kirk's wishes, her wants, needs, or her requests. No. She dropped that request as bait. Even the last week, she was saying that she said if Erika told her to stop, she'll be quiet, but she hasn't said anything. She has just given you a little request now to be what? Gracious towards the people who were there. And she just said no. Basically, no, she doesn't care. She said Mikey McCoy, very suspicious. Okay? Then one more thing she said that was it was very shocking to me. She said Tyler Boyer is a sexual deviant. I had to go and research if he has ever been accused of something. Unfortunately, fortunately, I don't know why I said unfortunately there. That was quite a leap. I've listened to Candy so much that I'm now crazy. Now, fortunately for Tyler Boyer, he doesn't have any, but TPUSA, when it comes to SA accusations, my God, the folder is long. I will look into that. Someone commented on it. I think that was Uj. Uj or someone commented before about it. And I said I'll look into it. So when she mentioned the sexual deviant thing again, I was like, oh my God, I clutched my purse. I clutched them so hard they scattered. So I went and looked at it. It's a long file. Even though Tyler Boyer is not directly involved, he has been one of the people allege have been covering up the investigations into people who have done things. But then, Candace Owens basically told Erika, you know what, lady? Go screw yourself. I, Candace Owens, I am Charlie Kirk's widow number 1. As for you and your request, you can shove it up your ass and into that handkerchief you're constantly wiping your left eye with. I don't care. Okay? You can whisper it into the camera, whisper it into the moon, the stars, send it through Fox News, send it through CNN, through BBC. I don't care. Unless you're sitting on my platform for me to ask you questions I want to ask you, unless you're releasing all the footages I have asked all of you, unless you're sending Tyler Boyer, Mikey McCoy, Mike McCoy, all the McCoys to come to my platform for me to interview them, plus you, ask all the questions and grill you people to I'm satisfied with my investigation, you can go F yourselves. That's the basics of what she said. You can go watch her channel if you really want to be sure of what I'm saying. Go watch her channel. Well, guys, this was a long rant. Today I had time for Candy Baby. I had time. Today I had time for her, okay? I had time. So I decided let's have a rant. I will look for time and react to Erika Kirk's interview. That interview, it has some germs in there. You see Erika Kirk and Candace Owens, they are playing some very good emotional games. These two ladies, Widow 1 and Widow 2, man, they know how to get on my nerves. They know how to get on my nerves. One way or the other, they'll get on your nerves. But at the end of the day, I really feel sympathy for Erika because I don't know how she's dealing with this public debacle ongoing on her husband's demise. It must be very difficult for her, especially with 2 young kids. Oof, that's a messy one right there. But Erika, you too, your activities, that hug you gave JD Vance has not left my brain, okay? I'm still looking at that hug. And you're whispering, your demeanor. There are a lot of things about you that we are still looking. We'll give it time. Okay? With time, we'll see. Well, enough of my ranting. Tell me what you think about Widow 1 and Widow 2. Let me know. Let's have a little test, okay? Who is Widow 1 and who is Widow 2? According to the way things have been playing out, because one of them is Widow 1, one of them is Widow 2. Who do you think should take Widow 1, Erika or Candace? Until next time. Bye.